Welcome in, everybody, to the Farzy Show. My name is Mark Farzetta, and welcome to the Steven Singer Studios. A couple minutes late today. My apologies, some technical difficulties. All on my end. And, it's some physical health problems as well. You know how sometimes you bite down on your lip or your mouth, and then you just keep on biting down on that for like the next week or so, and it's just like you're just enjoying your meal, you're just enjoying a snack, whatever it might be, and then it's that thing, like that really gets people. I've stubbed my same toe harshly twice in the last week. So I'm playing hurt today, folks. I'm playing hurt. That's what I'm trying to convey to you right now. And it's my pinky toe, too, on my left foot. Like, that's not supposed to happen. Came down here and hit my foot right on the desk. And same spot. The pain, folks. But you know who's not having pain anymore? Tobias Harris, because he had himself a nice little game last night for the against the Orlando Magic for your 10-9-8 76ers. And Danny Green sets ablaze. That's just absolutely insane what he did last night to Twitter and social media. It's insane, folks. People of the 76ers fan base are trying to make something of what he had to say yesterday. In a recent Sirius XM interview, as it's being described, my old friend Andrew Salchunas over there at 97.5 The Fanatic found some audio recently of Danny Green trying to defend Tobias Harris. Now, we all know what happened, and Tobias Harris spoke on it last night as well, so we'll play it both sides. By the way, to help us understand this further, our old friend Mark Zumoff will be joining the show coming up in just a little bit to help us understand everything that's going on in 76ers world. Also, keep us updated on what he's got going on in retirement. It seems like people retire and then just get more busy. So I'm happy for my friend Mark Zumoff on that. We also got some Flyers conversation that we're going to get going a little bit later. And, of course, the question is being asked throughout this week whether or not the Eagles starters should play at all on Sunday. At all on Sunday. Or, excuse me, Saturday night. What am I saying? Saturday. I got to use to saying that this week. Saturday night against the Dallas Cowboys. I know we always want to see a nice victory over the Cowboys. That might not be in the cards for the Eagles for two reasons. One, they might not play their starters, and two, Dallas is a pretty good football team. I don't think they got much to play for as far as this game goes. The Eagles could jockey for position depending on what happens with the San Francisco 49ers. But as of right now, the Eagles are in a spot where I would like them to play their starters if they're healthy. Quite a few of them, 7 exactly, are in COVID protocol. So we'll see how this week unfolds with them hopefully being able to test out by Saturday night's 8:15 kickoff, which will be on ESPN as well as ABC. But let's start it off with Danny Green, who had some comments about Tobias Harris. We saw Tobias Harris before last night, this is, against Orlando Magic. We saw him on the home court against the Houston Rockets voice his frustrations on the court. While he was getting booed, while he was struggling from the floor, he was signaling for fans to, bring it on, keep on booing me. Yeah, let me hear it. And then later on in the game, he makes a little jump shot, starts trotting down the court. They start applauding him, and you could read his lips very plainly. Don't clap, don't bleep and clap. Now, we spoke about that yesterday. Since then, like I said, our old friend Andrew Salchunas found this audio of Danny Green trying to show support to his teammate, Tobias Harris. And this is what has got everybody up in arms about Danny Green yet again.
I'm always trying to be the guy, the mediator, the encourager, because I know what the work he puts in. And regardless of how he's playing, he does not deserve the disrespect that he's gotten, this far from our home court or our fans or even outside fans. A lot of people outside of our fans have not given him the benefit of doubt of the things that he's done for this team last year and in the past years, the work he's put in. And obviously, all they see is the numbers. They see what he's not doing and what he's making and what they think he should be doing, what they think he should be doing. And he's a big part of this team. And, I just try to tell him, to just block out the noise. We all do. And we try to encourage him. We try to simplify and make the game easier for him. We know you're frustrated. We know things sometimes are not going your way. And he knows, I do have to perform better. I do have to play better. And that happens.
I did not have as big an issue with what Danny Green had to say this time around. He said it about the fan base. He said that Tobias Harris is getting disrespected. I don't necessarily agree with what he said. I don't have some kind of huge issue like I had with what Danny Green had to say in the summer to our friend John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia on his podcast, The Takeoff. That was an issue for me. where he talked about how Sixers fans got to ride or die, basically, how Sixers fans got to stick with their team and stick with their players. That pissed me off because, as I said at the time, and I'll say again, those previous comments he made to John Clark upset me because he was talking about a fan base that sat through a 10-win season, that sat through the process, and not only did that fan base not go away, they grew. So I don't know how a fan base could be more ride or die than that. These comments are him sticking up for a fan. And believe me, I know in this world, he ripped the fans, he destroyed the fans. Ooh, clickety, click, click. Oh, yeah. That, to me, that wasn't that big a deal. Now, I think he's wrong. I don't think booing is disrespectful. Like, the people that are taking up this big umbrage with booing all of a sudden, it really bothers me because, I believe in compassion, and I like that the world has become more of a compassionate place during my lifetime. That's good. We're becoming better people. That's good. However, when it comes to booing at a professional sporting event, they're professionals. You're the paying customer. Within reason, which is, in my terms, not talking about somebody's family, not getting personal, talking about their play. Like, that, to me, is crossing the line. Like, when you start to get personal. Like, the people that, we're talking about LeBron James's kids getting in a car accident when they were sitting courtside, you don't need to be here. Like, I have no issue with that whatsoever. Like, that's just awful. That is disrespectful. If you're talking about a player who's not playing well, getting booed by fans, that ain't disrespectful. That is just the way it is. And I like the way it is because anytime you're a paying customer, you should have an expectation and you should be holding something that's supposed to be a lot better to a higher standard. And a 5-year, $180 million a year, $180 million player is definitely being held up to a higher standard. And here's the thing, Tobias Harris knows that. Here's where I boo people. And I'm not telling you how to be a fan. This is just how I boo. All right? My qualifications for booing. You're dogging it. You're not giving 100%. You're not really, you look like you don't give a damn when you're out there. You just, is the paycheck clear? All right, I'm good. When you look like that, everyone should just boo the hell out of you. And I don't think Tobias Harris fits that description. I think Tobias Harris gives a damn. I think he feels embarrassed. I feel like it's getting to him. And I feel like there's no better way to look at that and prove that than to see the don't bleep and clap line from him. And he even admitted that it was frustrating for him. Danny Green even you hear him right there say how you hear, that Tobias Harris is frustrated with the situation and that it gets to him. That's understandable. It would get to anybody. But I don't look at Tobias Harris and go, oh, this guy doesn't give a damn. Boo. Like that he doesn't fit that description. The other reason I would boo, and this is where Tobias Harris does fit that description, is when you know a player is better than what he is, and he's not playing near that standard for a long period of time. He describes it as an up and down season, and we'll let you hear from Tobias Harris about it in a second, because he spoke at length about it last night to the media after a 22-point performance against the Magic, including, again, getting rebounds, getting assists in that particular game. Danny Green, by the way, straight zeros in his stat line. So I feel disrespected that a Sixers player put that on the floor against a very subpar team in the Orlando Magic. However, back to Toby. If a player is going through a long stretch of struggling, and we know that player can play a lot better than what we have seen, then it's okay to be like, it's okay to boo. Really, I wouldn't tell anyone, oh, you can't boo. What the hell's the matter with you? No, you're a paying customer. You have that right. I always tell people this, and I never believe that anyone really is above the boo. And if you remember, the Philadelphia Eagles fan base was really hankering for a Super Bowl. And then remember, they got it. Remember that? And then remember, the first game they played after winning that Super Bowl was a Thursday night season opener at Lincoln Financial Field, the night they unfurled the Super Bowl banner. The Eagles were booed off the field at halftime. And you know what team leader Malcolm Jenkins said at the time? You know what he said at the time? I would have booed us too. We needed that kick in the ass. That is how every athlete should take a boo. That's the context to every athlete. Yeah, you know what? I needed a kick in the ass. I would have booed us too. We weren't playing up to that level. And here's the thing. Tobias Harris said all about that last night. Here is Tobias Harris at length talking about his frustration with being booed as well as his performance when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers fan base and how they were evaluating his performance.
Yeah, it was obviously frustration. I think, I understand that our fan base boos at times, and they also cheer for us louder than anybody. I don't want nobody to get twisted. I love our fan base. I love the excitement coming into Wells Fargo Arena. I know they are a sixth man in helping us, and I also know that with cheers, you also with praise, you also have to be willing to take criticism as well. At that point, I was completely frustrated for sure, and it was just one of those things. But obviously, something that I learned from it is just to keep it cool all the way around and keep being who I am. I've had a what you can call it a up and down year for myself thus far, but I don't think anybody in that arena is harder on me than I am on myself. And now I understand that, and I want to play the greatest basketball that I can play. And that's just me as a competitor person, whatever it is. And, I work my ass off daily to get to that point, and I'm always empowering myself to think positive and push on. And I will get to the point where I'm playing the type of basketball that I will, I'm comfortable with. And, tonight was a good step in that direction. And that's what it's about. Everybody goes through rough patches in their careers as well. But, for me, I look at it like when I get up out of this, and, it's going to be a good story to tell other people of resilience and just fighting through and finding your rhythm and balance all the way around.
I love that attitude, and that's why I find him to be a difficult guy to boo. And I know people have been harping on him all season. I have certainly talked about his struggles throughout the year. I have said he flat out needs to be better. I have said he needs to sit out until he feels 100%. He was asked again about feeling the effects of COVID. He said that he's not going to use that as an excuse. He had already told us that he's still feeling like he has a cold every single day. He was asked about Seth Curry struggling when he came back from COVID, how he had to get out of that funk. Now Tobias Harris is in that. He said last night was a step in the right direction. You just heard him. You heard how frustrated he is with him. I'm not campaigning for everyone to rally around Tobias Harris. I'm just saying the number one reason I boo people is when I feel like they have zero effort and they don't give a damn. I don't think Tobias Harris is one of those guys. I think he is going through an awful streak right now. And yes, hopefully this game was a step in the right direction for him. Hopefully this is him climbing out of that rut. I mean, Seth Curry has certainly climbed out of that rut. Had another great game last night. Was hitting threes for you. Had a great layup late in that game. Got to the line for an old-fashioned three-point play to help you secure the win against another team you were playing down to in the Orlando Magic. I know the Sixers are playing without guards, but they're going up against a team like the Magic who are just terrible. Sixers now won 5 in a row. Tobias Harris has done something else too, by the way, over this stretch where his shot has not been falling. And one of the main things that has really bothered me about this is that he doesn't finish at the rim. Last night, he did a little bit of a better job of finishing at the rim. It's like he'll make the aggressive move. He'll make the effort. He'll make a smart play to go hard to the basket, try to get the N1, which I'm still a very big fan of in the NBA, that old school game. And he doesn't finish. He doesn't connect. I mean, we talked last week about 3 shots in the paint where he made the aggressive move to get in the paint. 2 were right at the rim. The other was at the foul line. He made the aggressive move and then couldn't finish, couldn't connect. 2 of those were layups in the first 5 minutes of the game. He's got to find a way to convert those. If he finds a way to convert those, gets to the line, makes some shots, then we're talking about a much higher points per game average, which when fans that are just the casuals check the box score and they go, oh, wow, Tobias Harris had 25 points there. They'll feel a lot better about it. But he's filling out a lot of other things on that stat sheet as well. And I know that a lot of people will have jarring memories of Ben Simmons when that pops into their head. But I don't really associate that with Tobias Harris because I do have confidence that he will eventually get out of this slump, get out of this rut that he is in, and play a lot better. But bottom line for the boo conversation, and we got into this just 2 weeks ago with Miles Sanders talking about not booing a guy like Jalen Reagor. Fans can do pretty much whatever the hell they want. I always say fans are going to be here a lot longer than that particular athlete. Fans are undefeated as far as that goes. I can't say that enough. But when it comes to whether or not a fan base should be allowed to boo, like the people that are, like, to me, the people that are saying, oh, you can't boo, oh, you shouldn't boo, don't boo. Like, I feel like those are also the same people that are like the first people on the line with customer service when they get something in the mail that doesn't work right. Like, it doesn't work up to the standard they thought. Yeah, my air fryer, it's not frying things like I thought it would fry. And then why is that happening? Like, you're a paid customer, you're complaining. The only way we can do that at a sporting event is boo. Like, and people, oh, how would you like it? Hey, I don't have to walk into a stadium full of 20,000 people booing my every move or booing me if I miss a foul shot. But media members see a lot of criticism. They see a lot of that on social media. You know what I go? Oh, yeah, that's nice. And you know what it frustrates me? I'll tell you what it frustrates me. Like when I haven't slept a lot. Like that's pretty much it. Like I get that question a lot from people. Like, does it bother you when you read things that are negative about you? Not really, because I don't give a damn. Like about what that person's opinion is. Like, that's just how it works. If I'm being booed, if I'm Tobias Harris, I could understand why it'd be frustrating because you're actually in the situation where 20,000 people might be raining boos down upon you. I can get that. That's something that I can't identify with. But when it comes to just people talking smack to you, you gotta let it roll off, man. You can't let it control you. You can't let it consume you. You just move on from it as fast as you can. And oh, that's nice. Scroll and just keep on going. Now, I know a lot of other people's argument to this is, they make $180 million like a guy like Tobias Harris, right, over 5 years. The reason I don't go too much to that is because, like, there's no amount of money that will prevent somebody from being a human being. And whether you want to talk about the extremes, like mental health, for instance, with a guy like Lane Johnson, and I've seen that argument, and I think it's pitiful. Oh, Lane Johnson get paid millionaires talking about depression. Then you don't understand what you're talking about if you don't understand how your statement doesn't make sense. When it comes to a guy like Tobias Harris, it's a guy struggling in his game. It's a guy struggling in his craft. If he didn't give a damn, that's where I would let the boos rain down upon him. The long struggle is another justification for saying, we're all seeing this. Whatever you're doing isn't working, let's get better somewhere, somehow else, some other way. Let's find a way to get better. And that's where I think Sixers fans are very much in the right, because they're seeing a player that they know can play a lot better, and we've seen play a lot better. Look at a guy like Joel Embiid, who highlights all the time when he's gone through his struggles as a basketball player. He had to shush the crowd, right? He felt like he had to shush the crowd and all that. I feel like a guy like Joel Embiid, who has been a perennial, for the most part, an MVP candidate, has been an all-star many times over, has been the best player on this team, and has played to his potential. I think he's a guy that'll be a lot more difficult to boo. He would really have to bring it on himself, like a shushing the crowd, for instance, which I will state again for the record, at the time he did it, I actually thought was hilarious because I thought you were either in on the joke or you weren't. With a guy like Tobias Harris, and you're talking about disrespect, has he been an all-star many times over for the Sixers team? Has he led this Sixers team to series and playoff series victories and all that? No, that's mostly been Joel Embiid. It's been Jimmy Butler. At times, Ben Simmons against the Wizards last year. That was nice. Not so much Tobias Harris. Had a huge game. It was a game 2. He came out firing against the Hawks. All right. But as far as disrespect, I don't find boo to be disrespectful. I find that to be the give and take of the relationship between the athlete and the fan. And Tobias Harris made that clear last night, and you heard him right there say, look, I don't want things to get twisted. I love our fan base. They boo us and they cheer us louder than anybody. Like, I always thought in Philadelphia that was the unique and great thing about us, is that we are honest with our athletes at all times. I always tell people, and you guys have heard me say this before, I always think of Philadelphia as the city that will tell you, yes, your butt looks big in those pants. Like if you're going to take any fan base clothes shopping and you want the honest opinion, take a Philadelphia fan. They'll tell you. No, you don't want to buy those pants. No, that blazer, too widening. No, honey. Mm-mm. Ooh, that dress, no, you don't want that. You don't want to be walking around town like that, lady. Like that's why I pride ourselves. And I've mentioned this before as well. I was a big fan, still a big fan of Anthony Bourdain. And one of the things I always told people about Philadelphia is that we're just a very honest city. We're a brutally honest city. It's not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear type of thing. And Anthony Bourdain, as well-traveled as that man was, he did an episode of Philadelphia where they asked him about, hey, what do you like about Philly? Like, what is it about Philadelphia that you like? And he said, the brutal honesty with people. You know where you stand immediately. And I thought, my man, he gets it. As well-traveled as he was, understood Philadelphia pretty damn well. And I pride ourselves on that. I pride our city on that. Brutal honesty all the time, especially when they're athletes, because you're the people investing your emotions and you're the people investing your money in the organization and in the product. If the product's not up to your standard, guess what? You have the right to complain. We'll get Mark Zumoff's take on that coming up in just a second. I did want to get into this. I have always been in the school of transitioning to Ruben Frank from yesterday. Is in my head for transitions right now. If you didn't hear it yesterday, go take a listen. He had some great stuff on Jordan Mailata and the Eagles and Jalen Hurts and their improvement and all that. But as far as playing, football players playing towards the end of a season, especially when things are pretty much locked up and you don't have a whole lot to play for, I am still in the school of play a little bit. At least play a little bit. Like, play a quarter, play a half. Maybe not the whole game. Football's a dangerous sport, blah, blah. But in terms of always being afraid of injury, I just can't operate like that. So I am always for the Eagles getting some reps. And I'll give you the perfect example of this. The Eagles lost to the Green Bay Packers in the great year of Michael Vick. And they lost to the Green Bay Packers shortly after the Joe Webb game, if you remember. And I know that Tuesday night game it still resonates really well in people's heads, and it really sticks with you. And rightfully so, because it was horrifying for so many reasons. But the Eagles chose not to play their starters in their last game of the season. Things are pretty much locked up as far as their seeding went. So they opted not to play starters. I thought to myself, this team had struggled. They had started to fall off the wagon a little bit. They needed a couple of reps just to get under their belt and play at the end of that season, just to take that momentum into the playoffs. They didn't do that. And if you remember correctly, Michael Vick threw a pass to Riley Cooper in the end zone that Riley Cooper couldn't come down. And I'm thinking, going to Riley Cooper with the game's on the line? Come on, man. And I just thought the Eagles would be in a lot better position if they were able to establish a little bit more offensive momentum going into that game, if they played at home to the Green Bay Packers, who, of course, went on to win the Super Bowl. I would love to see Jalen Hurts out there a little bit more. I would love to see the Eagles go out there in the early goings of a game and actually try to establish that early momentum that has eluded them in the last, 4 starts of Jalen Hurts as the starting quarterback? I would like to see the offense try to jump out of the gate faster than they have over the last 4 or 5 weeks, because we haven't seen that a lot. We haven't seen that barely at all, really. Going back to Jalen Hurts' start against the Giants that they lost, and then he misses a game. They have the bye week. You also see Gardner Minshew come in, and the offense jumped out of the gate, which was good. Then you see Washington, they come out slow. Then you see them come out slow again against the Giants, and they get slow again against the Washington football team. It was just, you haven't seen that momentum to jumpstart the Eagles' offense. It's always catch-up football. I would like to actually establish their presence and announce their presence with authority in the early goings. And I think that will help them in the playoffs if they actually play a quarter or a half of football. But that's just me from the armchair quarterback position. Let's talk to a guy who's actually going to be in this game, hopefully, and that's rookie wide receiver Devontae Smith. He was asked about whether or not he feels he needs to play in this game against the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Devontae Smith answer that question.
I feel like I need to be out there. I feel like the whole team needs to be out there. Just a momentum thing. We kind of got everything going in the right direction. So just keep that momentum building. Just another week just to fine-tune the small things, just to keep everything going in the right direction. I mean, it means a lot just to go out there and just keep things going the way that it's been going the past few weeks.
All right. First off, I love his attitude. Second, I believe those are Les Bowen's dogs. How do I know that? Because Les asked the question, and I don't think the Eagles muted Les's mic in time Or if you're supposed to mute your mic. I don't know how the Eagles work it. Anyway, but I love that attitude. You want to establish that momentum. You want to feel like you can go out there and feel like you can play and try to get on the same page as everybody else, especially when you got a young football team. I think that's the way you got to go. I saw our friend Barrett Brooks talking about this recently on the Jacob Media YouTube channel, talking about how this is too young a team to rest anybody. You don't have to be all systems go by any means. Like, oh, you're 4 quarters of football. No, but just get them out there. Continue to play, continue to try to establish that momentum in the early goings of games, and then the second string unit can come on. The second string guys can come in. I know some people jumped to the conspiracy theory that when they saw the COVID protocol list, they were like, oh, here we go, 12 guys, 7 of them starters, 8 of them play significant snaps every Sunday. Oh, you know what this means? Instead of you resting guys, you're resting them without saying you're resting them, you're saying they're in COVID protocol. I don't think that's what they would do. But then as I started to go into the deep recesses of my mind, here's where I came. Here's the conclusion I came to. No, that's not what they're doing. But in the conspiracy theorist portion of my brain, I started thinking to myself, are the Eagles so shell-shocked from tanking last year's season finale that they want the built-in excuse of just like, well, I just take a proper precaution because we don't know what's going on with these guys? Like, that would be a slam dunk conspiracy theory for the people that want that out there. Like, maybe they're so shell-shocked from the criticism they received at the end of last year. The Nate Sudfeld game, I felt Nate Sudfeld really earned the playing time. Oh, did you, Coach? Is that what you felt? He earned the playing time? Okay. Maybe the Eagles are just, again, so snake-bitten by that, so scarred from that experience, they're like, no, we'll just say everybody's in COVID, and then they don't have to play. The huge hole in that conspiracy theory is that I don't think they can do that because I think the tests are made public to the league. Or public. They're presented to the league. And then on top of that, then why wouldn't your quarterback be on that list? Of all the people, if you were trying to rest, why wouldn't your quarterback be on that list? That's what's a little more on the interesting side of things to me. Flyers are back in action tonight. Transition that. Flyers are back in action tonight. They hit a bit of a schneid yet again after their 7-game point streak was snapped. Claude Giroux back in concussion in COVID protocol. Carter Hart out of that. He said he got out of the gates a little rusty against the Ducks 2 nights ago, and hopefully as the game went on, he said he did start to feel a little bit better. We'll see how they perform against the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Always a grudge match against the Penguins, so we'll see how that plays out. Let me tell you about, before we get to Mark Zumoff, let me tell my friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. First off, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, you guys are just fantastic as per usual. I can't wait to get to you guys. But let me tell you about my friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right on Jewelers Row. Steven's been in the love business for over 40 years in Philadelphia. And folks, what's the date here? January 6th? A little bit more than a month away from Valentine's Day already. It's never too late. It's never too early. Valentine. It can always be too late, as a matter of fact. But it's never too early to start your Valentine's Day shopping right there. Right out of the holiday, you got to start thinking about the next one. Why not see my friend Steven Singer? At least you know every single time you're going to be getting the perfect price at Steven Singer Jewelers, because that's what he does. That's how he takes care of people in the love business in Philadelphia. That's Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day. The perfect price at Steven Singer Jewelers. You know you're going to get taken care of by a real jewelry expert every single day at Steven Singer. That is IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day. That's Steven Singer Jewelers. Without further ado, let's talk to our friend Mark Zumoff about all things Sixers. I will state, we did this interview prior to the game last night against the Magic. I'll restate it in the interview, but we did it prior to the game against the Magic last night, so it's pretty much everything up until then that we dissect. But Mark's got these great bobbleheads available. I'll tell you all about them as he joins us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. And joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, Mark, I feel like it's almost like that scene in Anchorman where Champ is telling Ron Burgundy how much he misses him. It's like, I miss you so damn much. Hell, I need you. Oh, this whole city needs you. Mark Zumoff, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, my friend?
Just stay classy, brother. Just stay classy. That's all you got to do.
It's hard to get classier than this. I saw this pop up on my Twitter feed the other day. This is fantastic. long overdue, if you ask me. You said it was too late for the holidays, but people can still get these. And here's what's awesome. After 40-plus years in the broadcast biz in Philadelphia, and obviously 27 great seasons with the 76ers, Mark, you got this bobblehead coming out. Also, a portion of the proceeds are going to benefit the Philly youth basketball. That is absolutely incredible. I know you've teamed up with those guys before. Tell me about this bobblehead and how we can get one.
First, I have to tell you, now that I'm involved with the bobblehead world, I am astounded at how many people are into this and how many people have collections numbering in the hundreds or maybe even upwards of 1,000. It's just an unbelievable thing, the fact that people love to collect this stuff. And one of the things I think that makes it a collector's item is the fact that they're all numbered. So this will be a one-time run, with the red tie. Maybe there'll be some future editions where they change the tie or something like that. But the good news is it has a button that you can push. And I think there are several of my more choice sayings that I'm hollering out there. And, it makes for some entertainment as well as something that looks pretty good on your shelf.
Oh, that's incredible. So it speaks to you as well.
Yes, it does. It's kind of like Chatty Cathy, though, and it just has stock answers. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a mind of its own, at least not yet. But if they ever get to the point where it has a mind of its own, I'm sure that bobblehead will be a hot seller as well.
I like the idea. If you're going to change ties, why not why not you actually locking a window and a door and maybe a garbage into gold tie-in as well?
I like it. Or maybe even give me hair. Can you imagine that one?
Yeah, retro Mark Zumoff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Toupee.
Who even wears a toupee anymore?
Not many. Although I am binging Seinfeld, and I just got done with George Costanza toupee episodes. So, yeah, he betrayed the brotherhood, my friend. He betrayed the bald brotherhood for a short time there.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, couldn't be happier for you, and to help out the youth basketball is just fantastic as per usual. You were doing the T-shirts and the hoodies with them not too long ago. It's absolutely unreal. Now, speaking of your phrases kind of being recorded here, this for the bobblehead, I had heard a story from a mutual friend of ours that after you announced retirement, you signed up for Cameo as a way to keep in touch with fans and all that. And it was like so bad. You had to you got so many requests. You were flooded. You were inundated, my friend, with requests from Sixers fans for phrases. First off, is that true? And second, it probably is. What was your biggest request?
The biggest request, Mark, actually was just that. People wanted me to somehow come up with not only my phrases, but I guess germane uses of those phrases as it related to people in their lives, people they wanted me to wish happy birthday to. So, for example, I would say to a 20-year-old, hey, you got plenty of time for that unfinished business. That shot clock of yours, it ain't unplugged. That sort of thing. And I pretty much open everyone with, hang on, we're coming in for a landing. And then we have birthday wishes, or we have anniversary wishes, or Merry Christmas wishes, or something like that. And then typically, to add a couple of more phrases, I'll just say, and before we go, make sure you look around and lock all windows and doors. And of course, anytime life gives you garbage, you turn it into gold. So I kind of bookend it with that and mix in whatever phrases are appropriate to the request.
What a time, man. What a time we are living in. That's fantastic. I have to ask you that the current crew right now, well, Tom McGinnis and Mark Jackson are filling in. I think they're doing a great job. But obviously, Kate Scott had those huge shoes to fill with you. Are you still, I know you're still watching the games. What are you making of the new broadcast crew?
I personally love them. And I'm truly amazed at the chemistry that they have been able to establish in such a short period of time. I think people have to adjust to the fact that I was there for 27 years and I'm no longer there. And quite frankly, having a woman in that position is something that people have had to adjust to as well. But I think if you take Kate Scott for what it is that she does as a broadcaster, male or female, she is truly excellent. And fortunately, I think the vast majority of Sixer fans are realizing that. And as they get used to not having me around anymore and begin to embrace her, I think more and more each day, people are really starting to like not only her individually, but like them as a tandem as well.
I got to say, I do really like the broadcast. I think she does a really smooth broadcast. And you know this, Did she ask you or at some point try to run it by you to say garbage into gold or lock windows and doors? Because she says it in a tone that is obviously an homage to you.
She's very kind to do that. She certainly doesn't have to. I think what Kate is probably trying to do is just acknowledge the fact that she's part of a continuum. I know that she's working very hard to ingratiate herself to Sixers fans. I think that's something that has to happen more organically, and let Sixer fans love her and enjoy her games for who she is as a broadcaster, the unique things that she brings to the telecast. Mm-hmm. So perhaps she feels as a way of transitioning, she would like to do that for me, and I greatly appreciate it. But I think the more that she stays true to herself and fans begin to embrace that, the better off it'll be.
How do you watch Sixers games nowadays? Because I know you're still a fan. You'll always be a fan.
Yeah, so typically when it's NBC Sports Philadelphia, or I guess nowadays pretty much anyone, you could watch in the comfort of your living room. Don't tell anybody, but occasionally I'll be driving in my car and I'll set my phone up in such a way that at least I could hear the commentary. And then when Kate or somebody else goes crazy, I'll say, "Whoa, what a play that was!" That sort of thing. So, but don't tell anybody I said that.
No, we'll edit that part out of the interview, obviously.
Yeah, thank you. I'm yet to attend a game this year. I just wanted to lay low and allow Kate to spread her wings and do her thing unencumbered without me being around. So, at some point, perhaps I'll venture up to Wells Fargo Center and take in a game. But right now, it's NBC Sports Philadelphia all the time.
Did you not ring the bell earlier in the season?
I did, but I was unable to stay for the game. I had a previous commitment, but the Sixers really wanted me to come up, so I was able to carve out some time. But unfortunately, I had to leave, and they lost the game anyway. So my record as a former announcer is still unbeaten.
Gotcha. Understood. I want to ask you about this current team right now. Danny Green had some comments that I didn't really take as too offensive, but I want to get your take on this because basically it has reignited for really the second time in a couple of weeks the idea of whether or not it's okay for fans to boo. Now, I have stated earlier in the show that I would not boo Tobias Harris, who is the subject of a lot of criticism lately, simply because I think the guy is still giving effort. I don't think he's some lazy basketball player that's just milking a contract. I think the guy cares that he's not performing well. I reserve my boo for guys that I don't think really care anymore. Tobias Harris, to me, still cares. But I'll ask you this question. As a man who grew up as a fan of Philadelphia sports teams your entire life, obviously worked in the business as well, got close with a lot of players. When it comes to booing athletes in the city of Philadelphia, what is Mark Zumoff's stance on the boo?
First of all, no matter how either of us feels, Mark, the right to boo is protected by the U.S. Constitution. It's called freedom of speech. So if you're there at a venue and you've paid your money, I think you're entitled to your opinion. That's the time to give it. I think that's the proper way to do it, as opposed to some of the other things like the invectives that some of the fans have hurled at players, which are totally inappropriate, throwing things on the floor, that sort of thing. I mean, that kind of behavior, I think, should result in you being banned from the arena permanently. But booing, absolutely. I mean, it's been a part of being a fan, not only in Philadelphia, but anywhere since the beginning of time. So I think personally what that means is that Philadelphia fans care about their team and they're voicing their displeasure, whatever the specific circumstance might be. So go right ahead and do it. But I think if you're a player, you have to say to yourself, okay, we're just not performing well. We're not performing up to expectations or their expectations. What is it that we can do to turn those boos into cheers and not necessarily try to, say to fans on social media or otherwise, hey, don't boo us. You shouldn't be. We're out there trying. Fans are entitled to their opinion. Listen, the leagues, they're nothing without the fans. They support the advertisers. They pay the parking. They pay for the souvenirs. They pay for the food, and of course the tickets. That's where everyone's salary comes from. The commissioner on down, the fans who support the game. Mm-hmm. So I think for everything that fans do, whether they be sponsors or individual ticket payers, they're entitled to do what they want.
As for the team as a whole, how do you think they're performing to this point this season?
I think it's been, well, you could always do one of these and kind of stick your finger out the window and say, all right, it's a northerly wind. Things are looking up. The team's doing better. They won 4 straight. I think one of the good things for the Sixers is the fact that they're still owed a good number of home games. And once they remember that they were one of the league's, if not the most dominant home team in the NBA over the last handful of seasons, as soon as they remember that, together with a road record that's well above 500, that'll once again make them a formidable force in the Eastern Conference. And of course, the other shoe has to drop with Ben Simmons and what Daryl Morey is going to do. And I don't think that even with the team's current recent winning streak, that it is performing up to par. Now, you could use the excuse that they've been missing players, but what team has not had to miss players so far in some form or fashion? So, the window for Joel Embiid is open. It is wide open. There's plenty of time to make the best of this season. And it's my hope that not before too long, we'll see a move involving Ben Simmons that'll benefit the team and hopefully catapult them to much better things to come.
Could you see Daryl Morey waiting past the trade deadline into the offseason again, or do you think it's something that's going to go down this year?
I hope not, because then you're going to have to just wait until next season. And I'm not sure that how the team is currently constituted is going to help. I think they do need help, and I think that I would like to see a move made. Now, that's just me personally. I don't know all the machinations that are going on behind the scenes, but I think it behooves everybody, whether it's Ben Simmons and certainly the team, to make some kind of a move. If you're Daryl Morey, are you faced with the fact that you cannot get the kind of value you were hoping for, so it is worth waiting? I don't know. But I think that typically when you're bearing down on a deadline, the offers tend to get better because you are bearing down on that deadline. So let's hope in about a month or so, the offers will be better and a move is finally made.
Yeah, and I do want to state during the interview that we are talking about this situation in the Sixers season prior to tip-off in Orlando at the time of this interview, which will be Wednesday night. We air the interview Thursday morning. When it comes to everything else that you're doing right now, just overall, how are you enjoying retirement, my friend?
Life is good. I'm very busy. I'm the associate director of the Claire Smith Center for Sports Media at Temple. That is a burgeoning program that is going to help our alma mater, Marc, to do great things in the world of sports media, whether it's academia, whether it's involving marginalized people of color, women, or being a thought leader where Temple does research and holds conferences and symposia and is a leading figure in the world of sports media. That's the goal of our Claire Smith Center. Claire, of course, is a baseball Hall of Famer, a wonderful woman who's a Temple alum, and the center has been named after her. The other thing I do involves Maccabi USA, which is the U.S. contingent to the quadrennial Maccabi Games in Israel. And this coming summer, the games will be held again. And it's my intent to bring 12 to 14 aspiring sports media professionals to come over to Israel and cover the games as you would the Olympics, whether it's doing reporter packages or streaming live events or print material or whatnot. It'll be an opportunity for them to learn and an opportunity, I think, for a worthwhile sporting event to get some well-deserved coverage.
That's awesome. That is just that is fantastic. That is great, man. Good for you. Last thing for you here, because I know what a sports fan you are when it comes to all Philadelphia sports. I got to ask you about this Eagles team making it into the playoffs in the first year with Jalen Hurts as their full-time starting quarterback, and Nick Sirianni as a first-time head coach and play caller. What are you making of this year?
It's been an unbelievable year. I think a lot of people thought with a rookie head coach and a quarterback who, for all intent and purposes, was a rookie, at least as the season began, that this was going to be one of those rebuilding years. And they were just going to take their 3 first-round picks next year and really begin the build. The fact that they turned it around, I think Sirianni deserves credit, whether it was the learning curve, whether it was him acknowledging that the Eagles need to run the ball more, the fact that the defense came together the way it did. it's been an awesome experience. And now they're playing with house money. So whether it's the Rams or the Cowboys or Tampa or whoever they meet in the first round, even on the road. And by the way, they've proven to be a very good road team this year. They're better on the road than they are at home. They have a puncher's chance. As long as their defense shows up and the running game is cranked up, I think it's going to be a really interesting playoff game no matter who they play.
Mark, I'll show it one more time for the good people to check it out. They can get this bobblehead, and it'll help Philly youth basketball. This bobblehead speaks to you, folks, with great catchphrases from your man, Mark Zumoff. Make sure you guys check this out. Where can we get this, Zoo?
It's really easy. There is a company called FOCO, FOCO, and I would say a simple Google would suffice. Put in FOCO, Mark Zumoff bobblehead. That should take you right there. Also, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, just go to my timeline. You should be able to find some tweets with a direct link, and the same goes for Instagram as well.
And here it is, too, so people know what to look for on your Twitter, as we've been showing throughout the interview. Also, how are we doing on the foreign language? How are we doing on the musical instrument? Have we checked those boxes yet?
You're very kind. So I am playing my flute. I'm not playing it as much as I would like to, but I am taking lessons. I will never give a concert. I'm never going to be that good, but listen, I enjoy it. I'm into music. I'm a bit of an artist like that. The foreign language is going to have to wait. As we say in 21st century lingo, my bandwidth just isn't wide enough with everything I have going. You'd think being retired, I could learn 5 languages, but I'm still busy with a lot of other stuff and, enjoying that stuff as well. Mark, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for having me on. This is great. I always enjoy the conversation, and thank you so much for helping me to put that bobblehead out there as well. It's going to benefit a great organization in Philadelphia youth basketball.
Absolutely. And of course, I mean, you have an open invitation. I mean, all this was your idea anyway, man. Thanks. I'd be living in Italy right now, owning a pizza shop, living my life if it wasn't for you. Anyway, no, you know, you're welcome anytime, Mark Zumoff. Seriously, appreciate your friendship and appreciate you coming on and appreciate you doing this for Philly youth basketball, man. It's a great thing. And I know that you retired from one job to take on like 7 others. God bless you for that, my friend. The great Mark Zumoff joining us here on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Zoo, thanks so much, brother.
You got it, brother.
He's the best. I mean, he's the best. Mark Zumoff is the absolute best. Make sure you guys check out that bobblehead if you haven't already. There you go. Again, my thanks to Mark Zumoff for joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. I will get to you guys in the chat. Just amazing. You guys are just absolutely amazing as per usual. Let me get to you guys just one second. But let me tell you, my good friends at Rothman Orthopaedics, ladies and gentlemen, remember the old you, the one who didn't have to put up with a fickle knee, finicky hip, or shoulder that no longer does what a shoulder should do? Well, the Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you, back to running, back to walking, back to working, back to playing, back to living your life the way you want. With same-day appointments available, you can start today at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopaedics, your official orthopedic partner for your Sixers, Phillies, and Eagles. How about BetQL? If you want to take the advantage over your sports book, how about that? If you want to get the edge over your sports book, you need to download the BetQL app, the only app you'll need to make the smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports, and they give you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from spreads to over-unders and player props. If you don't want to use their model and prefer to do your own research, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news, and even a leaderboard for you to track your own success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download the BetQL app. How about the awesome people at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs, PHLSportsNation.com. WinView, the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who's the biggest sports fan? If you have those friends and family members that think they know everything about sports, challenge them to a WinView contest and see if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk. You want to break up the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers? Make sure you challenge a friend or family member to a WinView challenge. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app. where fans can take on other fans and win real money prizes on making predictions on the games that you love so much. So download the WinView app right now. Now let's check in with our chat check, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are fantastic. April, good morning. Mally, one of the first commenters today. Nice to have you back, Mally. Dak says good morning. Kevin says good morning. Farzy and everybody. Big shout out. This is from Dan Schwartz. Big shout out to Danny Green for yesterday's performance. Zeros across the board in 24 minutes. That is hard to do. How many threes did he miss yesterday? I meant to check that one out in particular. And to no avail, unfortunately, to no avail. I'll get you guys that number. April says hello to Mally. Mally says hi to April. Matt, good morning to you. Mally, April, I hope you guys get everything you could ask for the first Insurrection Day. Wow, yeah, I guess it was a year ago. Man, oh man. What a time. What a time, folks. What a time. I don't even want to make jokes about it. Mally, Tobias said he's tired of Mark talking trash about his game. Is that what it is? My trash comes from an area of love. It really does. It comes from an area of love. As I like to think all the boo birds booing comes from an area of love. We boo because we care. We give a damn. And Tobias Harris more or less said that last night when he said that Philadelphia fans, I don't want to get nobody get this wrong. I love our fans. Don't get it twisted. I love our fans. They boo us, yeah, but they also cheer us louder than anybody. Like, we're here for you. I talked about Philadelphia being the city that you want to take clothes shopping because they'll give you their honest opinion no matter what. Philadelphia is also a lot more of this is mostly used in politics, but it's the nurturing mother and strict father type of mindset. We're more of the strict father. I think most cities are more like the nurturing mother. I guess nowadays to be PC, you have to see that they're more the nurturing type of parent and not the strict type of parent. We're more the strict type of parent, as opposed to the, oh, you lost. Here's a juice box and an orange peel. It's okay. We'll get them next time. Yeah, we're not like that. You don't get a juice box. All the other kids earn their juice boxes. You don't get the orange slice. You don't get the juice box. Okay. You struck out 3 times. Go sit over there. Anyway, Dan just says, Zoo. James, good morning. Zoo, hope he likes his awesome, he loves his bobblehead. That thing's fantastic. Good morning, all. Good morning, Fuji. What's going on? Thirsty Thursday. I don't have my Jack Daniels here anymore. Danny Green needs to be slapped. Nick, well put. Respectfully. Very nice, Nick. Respectfully after that. Danny Green pisses me off. I'm literally about to storm the Wells Fargo Center. I shouldn't laugh at that, but it's funny. Dan, that is funny. Storm the Wells Fargo Center. Put your feet up at Josh Harris's desk. I don't know if you think he has a desk in the Wells Fargo Center because, they just rent. But anyway, that's pretty funny. Who the heck does he think he is? Danny Green's a 3-time NBA champion. And I was thinking about this yesterday because that same thought, Nick, passed my mind. Who's Danny Green? And I'm like, well, he's a 3-time NBA champion. And I'm like, but not here. Not here he's a 3-time NBA champion. Oh, no. It's a solid defender, usually. But I have banged the drum many times over for the Matisse Thybulle starting over Danny Green, and that's happened, fortunately. But yeah, Danny Green, who the hell are you? Be that veteran leader on the team. Good for you. Stuck up for a team. That's why I didn't have nearly as much of a problem with what he said yesterday. I just feel like he's wrong. I don't feel like booing is disrespectful. I think booing is a right. Is it disrespectful to correct somebody? Is it disrespectful to offer criticism? Because that's all we got as fans. We don't get to be like, all right, Tobias, that was a really weak performance. Come over here for a second here. Come here. Bring it in, Tobias. Come here. All right, we're gonna have a talk, okay? When you drive the lane, finish strong. You can do it. We've seen you do it before. Do it. Get out there and do it. Finish strong. We can't do that. All we can do is sit in our seats and go, boo! That's all we got. What do you want me to do? Tweet them? Hey, scroll. No, that doesn't. No, thanks. Let's see. He is ballsy, Nick. I give him that. Mac, what's going on? Checking in with Mally. He says, Rocco, my guy. Rocco, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Danny Green acts like a brat. Yeah, we're going to boo if we don't like how you play. Yeah, we're going to boo if you don't play up to your potential. You don't like it, do better. April, it's really not much easier than that. So many athletes have explained it. Bryce Harper has talked about it. Like, yeah, I'd boo me too. Joel Embiid has talked about that. Who did I mention? Malcolm Jenkins has obviously talked about that. The booing thing is out of control as far as people complaining about booing. Booing in itself is fine. The people that are bitching about booing should be booed. Like, why am I even hearing you? Boo! Like, just louder, please. Drown them out. Danny, whoa. Buddy T-Mac. Danny Tanner would have been more productive last night on the court than Danny Green. That is a reference. That is a Family Guy brain and a half right there, my friend. And I'm a bigger step-by-step fan than I was Full House, but I'd still take Danny Tanner. Wow. Step by step. I haven't thought about that show's existence in a long time. What was that guy's name that lived in a van? Cody? Was that the cousin or the nephew? Yeah. He was in a movie called Kickboxer. It was terrible. Anyway, I was a big fan of the martial arts movies when I was a kid. There was a point where I saw every Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Anyway, Mal, you're the GOAT. The Farzy fans here for you. Nick, very nice. You're damn right we are. Matt says, let's get 6'8" PJ out there. He could play better than Danny Green. Absolutely. Matt, he's replacing Danny Green. Mally, you're the anti-Danny Green of the show. Wow. Dan Schwartz, Uncle Jesse got that butt. Just saying. Of all the things I thought we'd never touch on in the chat, it would be Jesse Konsopolis' ass. Stamos! Did you guys see what Rager said about the fans booing yesterday? He was kind of accepting of it from what I saw. Mally, Uncle Jesse's looking more cooler every day. He was married to a convict. All right. Aunt Becky tried to get her kid into college, right? And there's some the bribery issues there. Wow, Sean Rodriguez. Matt, that's a poll as well. That guy talking about fans booing. It's like, I'm sorry, who the hell are you? Like, Danny Green's listed a 3-time champion, and Sean Rodriguez could not have become the most hated guy in Philadelphia faster. I forget what specifically he said, but it was just basically about, like, don't boo. And I'm like, why are you challenging us? Again, undefeated. Embrace the booze, says Fuji. No, that's what it was. Yeah. I forgot that he referenced Derek Barnett. My first thought on that, Mac, here's what Mac's saying, quoting Jalen Rager. It was funny, honestly. Derek Barnett told me to just embrace that type of stuff. It shows the fans are paying attention. It's like the saying, once the coach stops yelling at you and he stops coaching you, then you should be worried. Great point. The thing that stuck out to me, though, was Derek Barnett. It was like, Derek Barnett's like, hey, I suck too, and they boo me all the time. So here's how you got to take it. Like, I'm booed so often, I have advice on booing. Like, that's what jumped out to me about Derek Barnett saying anything. But yeah, I remember his was more on the positive side of things. Today is National Cuddle Up Day, says Rocco. I didn't eat spaghetti on spaghetti day, so I don't know how close I'll get to cuddling today. Plus, my wife is in the stage of pregnancy of, like, just don't touch me. Like, I've had to turn down commitments and events because my wife is in the could go at any minute stage of the pregnancy. But, like, the bag is packed, folks. Like, the bag is packed. The due date's the 26th. And it's just like, huh, Jimmy, you feeling okay? And that we're expecting a boy, and yeah, we're less than 3 weeks away, folks. No, 3 weeks. Well, yeah, 21. Yeah, 21 days, 3 weeks. No, less than that. Jesus, 20 days. Holy pots and pans, less than 3 weeks. I gotta go. No, just kidding. All right. Need 6'10". What the hell? Sorry, at Farzy show. What? Mally, I respect it as well what our guy has to say, Jalen Regular. I'd take all the booze in the world, as in booing, for $185 million. Yeah, so would I. If my job earns me millions and millions of dollars and I have a chance of being booed, sign me up. Sean, great point. I'll go back to Dante. Boo me for boo me for $400,000 a year. I'll take a pay cut. There you go. I always go back to this because I think it was a great point, and it's so random who it was from. But during The Last Dance, I thought Dennis Rodman said one of the most amazing things. He was quoted at, he'll play basketball for free, but he'll put up with all the BS that comes with it for his contract, like for that money. And I thought, now that's a great point because I play basketball for free. Even my one day with the Harlem Globetrotters, I wasn't paid. I just love the game. But it's putting up with the BS that you got paid for. All right, you'll put up with all this criticism and booing and all this stuff, but you'll make this handsome salary. All right, sign me up. Farzy, the transition king. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. April says the chat literally has a roll in this morning. And me too. Hate is a strong word. This is if I could, would you? Hate is a strong word, so I'll just say that Zeke is my favorite current Cowboy. Least favorite Cowboy. Let me give you proper justice there. If I could, would you said, hate is a strong word, so I'll just say that Zeke is my least favorite current Cowboy. There you go. People love it on Zoo, and rightfully so. The man is incredible. Inside the Birds, what's going on? Evan, what's going on? Nice to have you. Oh, April's asking me about baby number 2. How's the missus feeling? She's ready. I'll say that. She's ready at any moment to just be like, we're going to the hospital. Let's the little man's coming. John Cheeseborough, good morning, buddy. Haven't given you a shout out yet. Hope everyone is all right. We'll get our weekly dose of Hugh Lamont Douglas III. We didn't get our weekly dose. Humiliated me, and I want my restitutions. We'll get Hugh on again eventually. I know he's busy down there in Atlanta. Bobblehead of Mark on a noble head of the twerking penguin. Mally, I'm sure people would pay money for that if it all goes to charity. John, you're right. It's never easy replacing a legend like Zoo. Like Drew Carey after Bob Barker. Wow. Did Zoo just hit up with freedom of speech? Yeah, he did hit me with freedom of speech. Love this man. Damn right. Pete, you ain't kidding. Who's the current host of Jeopardy? The lady from The Thing, from my childhood, Blossom. Joey Lawrence was on that show, Philadelphia's own. I went to school. My claim to fame, really, folks, is that I went to grade school with Joey Lawrence's cousin. Second cousin, I think. Anyway. Farzy, there's no checkers in Italy. Sad face. There are no checkers in Italy. However, I have been to McDonald's in Italy. Actually, every time, I think I've said this before, every time I go to a new country, I go to McDonald's once. I've been to McDonald's in Peru, in Germany, in Ireland, Italy, obviously. Wherever the hell else I've been. Amsterdam. Have fun with that, you pot-smoking bastards. Anyway, I went to Italy, the Italy McDonald's. And it was at a mall. My cousins were like, you got to go to the mall in Maida. Maida is the hometown of my family in Calabria. And I went there, and it wasn't like I was going to visit family. Like I have like a distant cousin there, right? And we're related because we share a great-great-grandmother who was married 3 times, had 3 kids with each husband. So it's like the blood is thin, but it's still blood. All right. Anyway, and he's like the chief of police in Maida. Pino, what's up, Cugino? Anyway, so anyway, I go to the mall, and it basically looks like Willow Grove Mall in the middle of an olive grove. So just imagine, not an Olive Garden, an Olive Grove where they grow olives. So it's like this big mall in the middle of this farm, and I go in there, and they had a veggie burger. McDonald's had a veggie burger in Italy. And my wife got it, and she thought it was fantastic. I took a bite. I thought it was very good. I just got my regular quarter pounder, or whatever the hell they called it. I forget. And it was fine. It's McDonald's. It's more or less the same. I will say Peru, very salty. Big on the salt. Really like the salt in Peru. But anyway, there you go. Owning a pizza shop in Italy, maybe Farzy should reconsider this dream. No, I think that's a fine dream. Milkman cap. Oh, I wore the milkman cap when I hit my foul shot and when I did a Farzy in the field. Lester, today I decided not to watch the chat box, just listen to Mark go through the comments, and it was a roller coaster. That sounds about right. Luigi, JC into pregnant women, I hear? What the hell? Any truth? Yes, I was not paid for my foul shot. Thank you, Andrew. Luigi, Mally, John, Lester, hello again. If I could, would you, Brian? What's going on? I think we just got everybody. I think we did. There we go. Thanks, everyone that participated in the chat. You guys are awesome as per usual. Let's get into our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars and SkyMotorcars.com. Give it a couple of bonus minutes at the end of the show because I was late getting on the show today, and I want you guys to get sick of me by the end of this program. So here we go. Sixers back in action tomorrow night against the San Antonio Spurs. Should be interesting. Spurs are one of the teams rumored to be interested in Ben Simmons. So watch them a little bit more closely than usual. We'll see if the Sixers can make it 6 in a row, as they made it 5 in a row last night against the Orlando Magic. Joel Embiid, another 30-plus point performance. 22 points for the struggling Tobias Harris, which was nice. Also, the Flyers back on the ice tonight, hopefully to get another point streak at least going against the Pittsburgh Penguins at 7 o'clock tonight. Hopefully we'll see Carter Hart back in net to get things going again. So there you go. Oh, last thing, as part of the morning rush today, I wanted to get this in as well. Jalen Hurts yesterday was asked about, not Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith was asked about Jalen Hurts. Been around him a while. Rob Kessler, as a matter of fact, great producer from NBC 10 and NBC Sports Philadelphia, formerly with Comcast Sportsnet, asked a great question of Jalen about Jalen Hurts. And this is Devontae Smith's answer when talking about what makes Jalen Hurts so special.
He's ready for everything. I mean, no matter how big it is, no job is too big, no job is too small. He's ready. He's the same guy no matter what. So just going in, knowing that he's going to be prepared because of the type of person he is and the way that he prepares for things, that he's going to give us the best chance to win.
Go out there and win. That's all they're concerned about doing, and watching the growth of a guy like we covered yesterday with Ruben Frank, talking about the numbers from Jalen Hurts, one of 3 quarterbacks in history to go from a 53% or lower completion percentage in his first year to over 62 in his second year. That's pretty impressive. And hopefully they keep that going if in fact he does play on Sunday against the Cowboys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Much appreciated. Thanks for watching the entire show as well. As thanks to my friend Jim Hyden, produced the program, did a phenomenal job. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production from the Steven Singer Studios. My name is Mark Farzy. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow, talking all things Eagles. Mike K, NJ.com, we're hoping to get on tomorrow to break down all things Eagles. I said yesterday we'll get a little bit more into the defense today. We'll do that tomorrow with Mike. Have a great day, everybody. Take it easy.